What is going on, everybody? Dakota from Citrus Proof Gaming here, and today I'll be giving you guys a little tutorial here on how to get a lot of XP in Pokemon Go. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about Pokemon Go recently, not anywhere on YouTube, Xbox and otherwise, because I've been getting some insight about XP grinding and XP farming in this game because there's not a whole lot of ways to increase your XP unless you grind a lot and daily, because the amount of XP it takes to get from where your current level is to usually to get to the max level is up in the millions of XP. Now, nobody as of right now has ever gotten to the max level without using any special bots or any kind of cheats or coding and whatever. But basically, getting up there is going to be a pain in the ass. But this little video I'll be showing you guys right now will be at least somewhat a nudge in the right direction toward getting to higher levels. Now, I can't say this will completely help you, but depending on which level you are, because we will all vary if you're watching this video. Like, I'm currently level 19, but throughout this video you will see that I'm not only going to be increasing a lot, but the XP will eventually go up as well, because with each level, the XP bar gets higher and higher, making it a lot harder to level up. But without further ado, let's kick it right into this. To kick this off, basically, all you really need is basically shit Pokemon. You really don't need rare ones, though having some that you haven't evolved into other evolutions that you've discovered yet is always a plus in this kind of, I guess, tutorial. Yeah. Always nice to have. But basically, you're going to want to have all these certain Pokemon that you're going to have highlighted, or favorited, I should say. And basically, the reason you're going to have these is because the candies and all that stuff is going to add up toward it in the end. Now, I'll explain to you how this is going to work. Alright, don't mind any of this. This is probably the shittiest memo I think I've ever had. But basically, English perfectly explains everything you basically need to do. Now, basically, if you ever have a spreadsheet or any kind of piece of paper, just write this down in this order for Pokemon. This is how I found this to be the easiest way to figure out if you have enough, or you should use this method, because you don't want to do this method if you don't have enough Pokemon to evolve. This solely relies on the amount of candies you have, the amount of Pokemon you can evolve, and what you can do within the time frame that you have this, because this is only a 30-minute XP grind, basically. Nothing more, and it should be nothing less. Up to that 30-minute mark, this should be completely what you have and what you can do. Now, it probably can be altered later on. There will be probably people figuring this out, but basically this is what me and Zach came up with as of right now. I don't know if other people came up with this yet, but this is basically what me and Zach have figured this out through a lot of research and grinding. Now, basically, you see this Weedle cost. This is just an example, as you can see, because I don't know if you people can read, but I'm hoping so. But this basically up top says Pokemon name and cost of upgrade. I put that right here, basically explaining that, you know, the Weedle, and it costs 12 to evolve into a Kakuna. Now, basically, having the name and cost makes it easier for you to keep looking back and forth between, you know, this is one to require 12, because some of them don't require 12 to upgrade. Like the Rattatas to Raticates, they require 25. That's why you always need to be specific on what you're going to do. Now, you're going to want to write down the amount of candies you specifically have for that certain type of Pokemon, so that way at least you have like a list of what you have for those specific things. So like in this case, it'd be the Weedle. I have 233 candies as of right now. The total amount of specific Pokemon, what I mean by that is basically if you have Weedles, for instance, you want to tally up how many you have altogether. Don't get rid of any. And don't transfer any, don't do anything like that. Leave them as they are, because you might get more candies later on. The total amount you can evolve is basically what you're going to have in the last category. You're basically going to add up the candies you have now, divided by the total cost of that particular Pokemon, and you should have, like, possible decimals, but don't mind them. Don't even like tally them up, because whatever that number is before the decimal is basically what you're going to want to have. In this case, it was 15. So don't get rid of the ones that you don't have enough for, because if you have enough from leveling these 15 up, you get one candy for just evolving them. So which means if I were to add 15 to basically the 233, I should basically have enough to have another Pokemon to evolve, like another Weedle to evolve, bringing that up to either 16 or possibly 17 if I had enough left over. So which is why you're going to want to have some in the end. So it might sound confusing, but it's a lot better if I just showed you guys. But basically, that's how I managed to figure this out the easiest and the fastest way without having to do so much research like I had to do. This makes it so much easier for you guys. My goal is to make it easier for you guys and not have to figure this out all on your own, because, oh my god, this was a fucking hassle. Okay. Now, back to the game now. As you can see all these Pokemon, I'm going to go back to these Weedles, for instance, if I can find them. Now, as you can see, I have some different changes with these Weedle candies. I don't have what I had before as an example, but you can see that, you know, it costs 12 whatever. That's a Rattata. But you want to count like how much you have all together, but just for this case, this is what you're going to want to do. And just so you know, my explanations suck. So this way I'm going to cut it down to at least something that you guys can briefly understand in an easy amount of time. Now, you guys are going to need lucky eggs. This whole process requires this lucky egg. You cannot do this and expect to get as much XP as I'm about to gain and show you guys without these lucky eggs. So you're going to need these. Don't ever waste them if you get them. Unless they come out with some other XP farming grind, whatever the hell you want to call this, tutorial. Unless they have something better, that's what I'm going to show you guys. This is probably what I recommend, not using the lucky egg until you have everything set for this thing. Now, I counted up approximately what I have. I have 74 of the favorites. I favorite them just because I know I have enough to evolve them. And that way I figure out, you know, how much I have total to upgrade. But you're going to want to have at least like 60 to possibly 75. Because if you're fast enough at doing this, you should be able to do this and have enough left over, or possibly none left over, if you're fast enough. But I would recommend doing this if you have 60 Pokemon ready to evolve as of right now, between 60 and possibly 80 if you're that quick. But you can't always just judge yourself right away. Now, once you've favorited all the Pokemon that you've got all together, preferably, I would say the easiest things that anyone could basically get, like Spearows, Pidgeys, Rattatas, and Weedles or Caterpies. But basically, all of those add up. Like, I've got 315 candies, which is basically enough for basically like 25, 28, something like that. I'm not adding this up, right? But you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But basically, I'm going to show you guys this now, because you guys are probably getting bored of me spouting shit out of my mouth. But yeah, I got 74 Pokemon, and we're going to start this up. If you guys really want to do the math and count this up, I am currently level 19. This is my current XP earned total overall, my levels on the above the level bar. And this is what I currently am at level 19. I'm 2,693 out of 25,000 XP. Now, we're going to find out how much we actually get. Oh, and don't judge the Team Mystic, because they're not that bad. At least we're not Team Valor. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. Alright, without further ado, let's get this shit rolling. Lucky egg. Here we go! Alright, so basically, you just want to evolve them as fast as possible without fucking this shit up. Doesn't sound as easy as it sounds, but it does. You evolve them, unfavorite them, back out, back in, and evolve the next Pokemon in the line. And you just want to keep spamming the shit out of this. You guys can skip right to the end. Unfavorite, back, next, evolve, yes. And basically you just do this for a whole 30 minutes, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Like, I would recommend doing this when you have enough spare time to do all this. I'll probably just cut this ahead, so that way you guys don't have to sit here for a whole 30 minutes watching me spam the hell out of the evolve, unfavorite, and back into the next favorite list. Now, this would be a great example, actually, because I haven't upgraded this one before, so I'm going to get a Magneton out of this one. Since I've never evolved them, it's going to take a bit longer for the evolve screen, but despite it costing more time during the process, but you're actually gaining more XP out of it, because you're originally going to get, I think, 2,000 out of this, and it might give you 4,000? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, since it's registering, it takes a little longer, but it shouldn't take that much time out of it. But as you can see, I just earned, well, actually, I don't even know how much I just earned, but it gives you a shit ton of fucking Pokemon XP. Oh. This cookie's pretty fucking good. Not gonna lie here. Alright, we got Mega Penis here. And actually, this actually might bring us to the end. Let's see. It does. Alright. As you guys can see, I am currently level 20. Right now, if I didn't fuck up with the Pidgeys, I cut that part out just because of the fact that the Pidgeys really pissed me off, and it gave me 10 seconds to really fucking think for a second about, like, that I just fucked myself over completely. But don't do what I just did during evolution shit. Basically, think before you click. I pressed the evolve button on one of my Pidgeys I was upgrading to a Pidgeotto, and then I accidentally clicked and evolved again, and that costed 50, and that really fucked up my evolution thing. And you don't want to do that, because even the slightest mistake might result in losing more XP than you should be gaining. Because if, say, like, you were gonna have to earn like 80,000 and you fucked up, you might be actually getting 70,000 instead, depending on what you fucked up on and how much you have backfired. But actually, I'm gonna count how much I actually have left over right now. I originally had 74 to start with. I have currently 3, 6, 9, 10. So I went through 64 Pokemon altogether, and I think 4 or 5 of them were brand new ones that I haven't discovered yet. So that's pretty good. I could have done this a lot faster, obviously, but with my mistakes, I've never actually done this physically myself. So that also, obviously, you know, you make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But as you can see, this method doesn't lie. I'm already level 20, basically 21. I would have been at this point. Honestly, I probably could upgrade the rest of my shit and bring myself to 21, which I might actually do that just for the hell of it, because getting Pokemon to do the 60+ shit takes a lot of grinding, and I don't feel like doing that anytime soon. And I'm kind of just glad I'm up there now, in the 20s now, and I think I'm able to get, Ultra Balls? No, I don't know. I'll look it up later. But basically, yeah, that's the method. It might seem confusing, it's really not. It's quite simple, actually. It just takes a couple of minutes to really think it through before you actually do it. So don't do it unless you think it through completely and you're confident enough of doing this, because remember, like I said, the slightest fuck up might result in you losing more XP than you should be gaining. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'll be able to release more stuff like this, but I could try my hardest to. But hey, this guy's really should have helped you more than it helped me. And I hope you guys do a lot better than I did, because I fucked up quite a bit. And I want to see how many you guys actually get in the comments down below. And if you got any other comments down below, I'd be happy enough to look at them and hear you guys out if I can. And if you also like this video, give it a like if you haven't done so already. And also subscribe to our channel, because we are also doing videos mostly every day. Sometimes we don't, depending on situations that we're in. Whether it's, you know, Shane, for instance, since he's in college, he can't do his videos, we have to change shit up, and it's all this new scheduling shit. But basically, I hope this really helps you guys, as it did help me and Zach. And all the hard work that we put into this should pay off toward this. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode or video.